If I had a nickel for every time I have read a book with a character named Baz in it this year, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. But it's weird that it has happened twice. So today, we are reading Where Sleeping Girls Lie, getting into the mystery vibes, the school vibes, because it's September. And we're here, and we're excited. And there's a character named Baz, because I just reread the synopsis. And I've read another book with a character named Baz this year. And I just find that crazy, because I've never seen that name in a book before, until this year. So, but I'm very excited for this. I have patiently been waiting until I got to this book on my TBR, because I read books in the order that I receive them. So, I've been waiting. And now is the day. Also, my name's Eirelyn if you're new. So, yes, but I am so excited to start this. No spoilers, just vibes and thoughts and opinions. Nothing to do with, like, I won't tell you the mystery, like I won't solve it for you. I will just give you generalized stuff. Like I'll never say anything that's like, you know, maybe you don't know, but that's okay. I understand what I'm saying. So, we're reading this today. I figured out the Morse code. Yeah. The Morse code. It says, the sky has not yet fallen. And there's a bird on the front, right? Like, I am so intrigued by what all of this means. That alone just gets you intrigued by, like, what does the sky has not yet fallen even mean? Intriguing, intriguing. I don't know how I'm gonna structure this video yet. I'll let you know. So I got new bedding, and I thought it would be fun to do my initial thoughts on the first few chapters, because I don't know how much more I'm going to be reading tonight. So, here's the book. I think it's pretty great so far. I'm thoroughly intrigued. I'm really liking the character. Sade, the main character, I really hope I'm saying that right. I have looked at so many pronunciation videos, and I just hope I'm saying it right. If I'm not, I'm very sorry. But I'm really liking her character. I think it's really good. And it's based off, I think I just finished chapter 2, chapter 1. I just finished chapter 1. And I would say that it was really good. It gave, like, the vibes of the clickiness from Mean Girls, but with the, like, derangedness from Heathers, like specifically Heathers the musical, and that makes me very excited. But I got new bedding, and it's very comfortable. Also, I need new glasses, so I really can't see the screen right now, so I hope all of this has been in focus. But I'm gonna go and continue reading, and I will probably update you all when something more significant happens, or I at least get to 100 pages, because at the moment I'm only at 22. So, bye. I also would like you all to know that I did fully have to start the camera and then crawl over here into this position. So just think about that. That I'm going to edit out me crawling to turn the camera off. But, see you in the next clip. I have finished part 1, and I have thoughts, I have theories. The mystery is trying to figure out what happened to Elizabeth. Where did she go? What happened? And I'm enjoying it. There was a whole Morse code paragraph that I solved. It took a long time, but I solved it. The characters don't know about it yet, but it was a fun addition and a fun add to the story. But I am so intrigued. So there's 2 things that I'm intrigued about. There's like these little enneagrams, which are, I don't know who's writing them. It's either Sade or Elizabeth. I think it's Sade though. And she's got some mysterious stuff. So firstly, when she first met Elizabeth, Elizabeth looked at her and she didn't say anything, but that was the look of being like, we've met before. I know you, but they haven't met before. And then a character, Jude, went up to Sade and was like, have we met before? Like, you're really familiar. And she was like, no. And then a character from a different school that was like at the lacrosse tournament went up to Sade and was like, have we met before? You look really familiar. And there's stuff hinting at to do with her past. And I'm like, I have a theory. I'm not gonna state it because I feel like it'd be spoilers. But there's something going on. And I don't know if it ties into everything. Like, I don't know if it ties into Elizabeth or if that's a completely different thing. Like, I don't know. Because there's the stuff at the beginning, like in the very first chapter, we get something, and then the next chapter is like 5 weeks ago. So I believe we're getting up to that point probably within part 2. And part 2 is shorter than part 3. But I'm just like, something's weird. And Sade's neglecting to mention every single time, like when she went back to her room before Elizabeth was gone, Elizabeth was in bed. Like, she saw the lump of the body. So, like, was that not Elizabeth at all? Also, half these characters are suspicious. I do not trust a lot of them. So, yeah, but I'm really liking it. The only thing that's annoying me is the repetition of characters' names in paragraphs. Like, if you're talking about a specific character, I don't need to hear their name like 5 times in the same paragraph. I'm exaggerating. But it's to the point where I'm like, you don't need to say Sade's name like 3 times in this paragraph when I know she's the main character. And like, because there was one where it was like, Persephone's this and Persephone's that. I'm like, you could just say, and Persephone's this and her that. Like, it's getting on my nerves. But I'm liking it, and I'm going to continue reading, and I really hope I can finish the book today, because that would be great. Okay, so I just finished part 2. I'm so intrigued. I have so many questions. I've been trying to figure out, because there's like, they say an anagram. I'm like, how do I solve an anagram? Does each one have different words that it's supposed to spell out? That ending of part 2 makes me have so many questions. I don't know what it means. I'm so confused. I'm weirdly feeling a twin situation, but I don't know, because it wouldn't make sense. It would, but it wouldn't, because clearly Sade ain't who she says she is. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading, but it's good. Good. There was another one of these Enneagram things, and instead of saying an anagram at the bottom, it says, are you watching closely? And now I'm second guessing everything that I've thought, because I'm even more confused, because I think I've picked up on some subtle things, but there's some stuff that still hasn't been brought up, because I know it's probably to send me for a loop, but there are photos, and in the photos there are tiles, and I feel like those tiles are important for something. Do I know what? I don't know. So I just finished it, and it was very good. I'm giving it a 4.5 stars, and let me explain why. There were just some things, like I had mentioned with like the characters' names repeating, like at the end, it was brutal at one sentence, one paragraph after paragraph. It was just like 4 different sentences and paragraph things. And I was like, that's a lot. So that was like my only big gripe, and like I think it reflected the reality of the topics, because it is a heavy book. If you're going to read this, it's like the topics are heavy and it doesn't shy away from them, but it does it delicately enough where you're not gonna feel too much of its pressure. Everybody's different. I didn't find it too hard, because at the content warnings on the beginning, it was like suicidal ideation, and I usually have a hard time with that in books, and I didn't find it too tough. There was only a few scenes where I was like, it's a little rough here. The only part I found confusing was the Enneagram stuff and the hints. Like, I kind of got it, but it seemed too cryptic to the point that I've been trying to Google who's wrote the Enneagrams, where the Enneagrams came from. And I've gotten many different responses, like there's not really a clear consensus, which that's okay. But because the topics are so heavy, and one of the major topics in the books is so heavy, ideally we would want it to wrap up in like a nice, neat little bow where everybody gets their retribution. I do not want these characters to have redemption.
you would want it to like wrap up nicely where the characters get justice and they get what they deserve. But the reality of it is that isn't what happens in real life. And it's realistic in that of being like, we kind of got what we wanted, but at the same time, it's not ideally what we wanted. We wanted more. We wanted more justice, and we wanted more this, and that couldn't happen. And it was really good, and I think it shows the reality of a lot of it. Like, it may be dramatized for the sake of the book, but I have no doubt that this could fully happen. The only part that I am reluctant to believe is something happens with one of the characters, and it's like in the explanation of kind of what happened, and something happens and a character does something. How do I say this without spoiling it? It just, something occurs and I was like, would somebody really be that evil? Would they really do that? Which, like, probably knowing the character, yeah. I was like, what? Really? Like, it was weird. Because that's diabolical. If diabolical. Anyway, but like, it was really good. I think it is a perfect fall and Halloween book to have. It did have the Mean Girls vibe. Like, some of the characters, which is kind of my only other one, is like some of the characters are hard to read. Like, they're being a specific thing for the sake of the mystery of being like distant or cold or slightly mysterious in certain ways. Like, it's just hard to pinpoint. But the romance was good. I will say that. The romance development was great. But it was a great book. I think it would be worth the read if you're into mystery and are liking mystery that is part social commentary. The book was a lot about like grief and trauma and how if you don't talk about that or voice it, you can be haunted by it in a umpteen amount of different ways. It can like materialize in your life. And I think it shows the importance of having a community to speak with about things that you go through. And it was just really good. I think it was a great second book by this author. And she announced a new one. And I've read a bit about like what it's about. And I'm so excited. So, but this was great. It was great. It was really good. Finger stains all over it. But, I hope you liked the video. I feel like it was short. I did a lot of short reading. Like, I started reading on page 94 today. I finished the whole thing because I barely had any time to read for the past few days. But anyway, I hope you liked this video. And if you've read this book, let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to hear them. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next reading vlog, which will be a bit more Halloween based. Can you see what I'm reading? Maybe there's a hint right here about what I will be reading for the Halloween and spooky. Not really. I don't know. Werewolves seem Halloween to me. So anyway, subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you all in my next reading vlog.